Start with a question. When was the last time that you were truly present? And when I say truly present, I don't mean you were physically there, but I mean the type of present that you're able to remember the sounds going on in the background that day, or the specific way in which your body felt at that moment. Maybe even the smell around you, or the look in the eye with the person you were sitting with. If you were to ask me, it might take me a few minutes to remember. And the reason for this is that in our modern world, so full of stimuli, we are losing our ability to be present and to wonder about the world around us. Sorry. Now, I have the privilege to spend around 16 hours of my day surrounded by children of different ages. Between being an educator and a mom of 2 little boys, ages 2 and 4, I get the chance to observe children a lot in my daily life. I engage with them in different ways. I play with them, I listen to them, I teach them. But more than anything, I learn from them every single day. And if there's something I've learned, is that children seem to operate in a completely different reality than we do, particularly the youngest ones. And it's funny because we often think that we need to teach children how to be adults. And yes, they have quite a lot of things to learn, but actually, children possess 2 amazing qualities that we adults need to relearn. The first one is that children are what I call inefficiently curious. If a child has a question, and parents know this, the schedule is over. The other day, I was driving my 4-year-old son to school at 6 a.m. in the morning. I was thinking about all the emails I needed to send when I got to work, all the meetings I needed to have. I was calculating traffic. I was worried about finding the perfect parking spot. When suddenly, from the backseat of the car, my 4-year-old son asks in the most casual way, "Mom, are you going to die?" To which I replied, no, I mean, yes, maybe someday, but in a long, long time from now, nothing for you to worry about. What about that? Is he dying too? Is he dying before or after you? I don't know, son, nobody knows. He didn't stop there. What about me and my brother? Are we gonna be there that day? So I did what many adults do when we want to shut down a conversation. And I just said, nobody knows, son. Life's unpredictable. Let's keep this conversation later. It's time to go to class. No, the thing that strikes me the most from children is that they are not satisfied with any answer. They will keep asking you as many questions as they need to get the answer they want to receive. And I think that as we grow old, we start losing this ability because we kind of are afraid to ask these questions. We're expected to know all the answers suddenly. So the second quality that children have is that they are the masters of flow. Children are able to enter what is known as flow state, the optimal experience, where they can be fully focused and immersed in the activity at hand. Like, if you've ever seen a child with a stick, you know what I'm talking about. For us, it's a dirty piece of wood. They need to go wash their hands and not get sick with it. But for them, it's a sword, it's a lightsaber, it's Harry Potter's magic wand, it's 1,000 different things. And the reason for this is that children can attain this flow state where they are fully immersed because they are being in the present moment. They are not doing activities to reach a metric for an outcome, they are just being there. Now, unfortunately, somewhere along the line, in our journey into adulthood, we are taught that wandering is a waste of time. we are taught that if an activity doesn't lead to a grade, to a tick box, to a paycheck, it's a waste of time. And suddenly we end up trading presence and wonder for efficiency and results. Now the danger with this is that if we only value what we can measure, we risk losing what truly matters in life. Now, I'll be honest with you. I love checklists. I love spreadsheets. I love predictability, like most adults do, right? But to me, even maybe a little bit more, to me, the expression going with the flow looks something like this. Like, I don't go with the flow. I plan the flow. No, this is my type of flow. And of course, we need plans. We need checklists. We need all of these things to lead organized lives, to run schools, to run countries. They are necessary. But also, this constant adult mode, if we're not careful enough, can get in the way of the most important things in life, which are connecting with ourselves, with who we are, with our values, and with those around us, with the people we care the most. I didn't fully realize this, to be honest, until I became a mom. And my son said one day, the same one from the car, but a year before, Mom, let's play. You know, children love to play. And playing with a 3-year-old for a teacher should be simple, right? Well, it wasn't quite. So it went something like this. I said like, yeah, sure, what are we playing? What are we building today? We're building the biggest castle. Or what are we painting today? Actually, what's the outcome? Like, how do we know that we are done playing? Like, what are we looking towards? And he just stared at me, confused, and said like, none of that, Mom. Let's just play. So I sat down on a Thursday afternoon to play spaceships with no rules, no outcome, and no defined end time. Like children love to do, because they can get very easily immersed in the activity. And I must confess that I felt a physical wave of panic. Suddenly, I wanted to see my work email. I wanted to see my phone, although I had been doing that the whole day before that. I wanted to see what had happened with this friend I met and I had on Facebook that I haven't seen in 15 years. I needed to do a grocery order. You know, I even started to think, how could I paint his bedroom and for it to look better? Or how can we optimize the toy storage? I was somehow looking for a manual that taught me how to play efficiently with a 3-year-old. But as every parent in the room knows, no such thing exists. Now, what I realize now is that the reason why that was so difficult then was because as an adult, in an efficiency-driven world, I had forgotten the simplest of things, which was to pause, which was to simply go with the flow. Now, in our modern era, we often blame our phones for our lack of presence around those we love. We know that phones have very negative consequences, they're addictive. This is the topic for another talk, but the reality is that I see the phones as a symptom of something even deeper, which is we reach for phones because we get uncomfortable with the unpredictability, with the messiness of human connections, with the vulnerability we might feel sometimes, with not knowing if we're gonna be the only one smiling and the other person's not smiling back. So we reach for our phone and we end up trading real human connection for this illusion of control that we really crave, that this device gives us. But here's the thing. The most important things in life, the things that are really worth, the things why we're here, cannot be measured. You cannot time a hug, although they've tried in some airport somewhere. Love is not efficient. Connection is not productive. So here's what I've learned from around 40,000 hours surrounded by children in the last decade. The first thing is presence doesn't come from having more time. It comes from being able to sit with the discomfort and the unpredictability that this pause brings us. And the second and ironical thing is that it's only when we pause that we're actually able to move forward. It is when we're able to interrupt the constant flow and when we stop trying to fill every second with something that the best solutions to our problems come, that the most creative ideas come to us. So, my invitation for you this evening is simple. Dare to be a little bit more inefficient sometimes. Stare at that flower, look at that, pet your dog, wonder about that question with no answer, just for the sake of doing it. Be that person who asks the very obvious question that everyone in the room is thinking about, but nobody is asking. Get comfortable with not having all the answers, because nobody has them. So get comfortable with saying more often, I don't know the answer, walk me through it. Finally, dare to be present. Because when we choose presence, even briefly, we choose what truly matters in life. Thank you.